If there's one thing we know about Washington, it's permanent things are never permanent. But we all know that recently we had some tax law changes. There were things put into effect that they're saying, hey, permanent changes to the tax law. I think we can all agree they're permanent until they're not. But what that tells us is that a window has opened up, an opportunity has opened up for us to do some planning based on the current laws that we know are in force, at least today, through maybe, let's say, 2028, when some of these different things phase out. How does that relate specifically to retirees? Well, there are benefits now to how much of your Social Security gets taxed and the credits they created to reduce those taxes. For the average retiree, over 40% of their income in retirement comes from Social Security. If up to 85% of that income was being taxed via Social Security, and now it may not be with these new credits from the big beautiful bill, does that open up a huge planning opportunity for us to see if that senior citizen, that retiree, might have more cash flow? If there are things we can be looking at in terms of, let's say, Roth conversions, does that open up more opportunity for us? We know that capital gains had an increase in terms of the benefits to the retiree. Let's say we had a portfolio of stocks and bonds or mutual funds, whatever it might be, but we had what's called a non-qualified brokerage account. And now more of those gains can get passed off at a 0% capital gains rate before hitting those higher numbers. Does that open up doors for us? So let me just try and demystify some of the confusion, some of the polarization from politics, because we're trying to trade the confusion for some clarity. What we know is this: anytime the law changes, whether it be capital gains rates, income tax rates, Social Security tax rates, or all of the above, it opens up opportunities for us to sit down and review a plan. And one of the things that we've been telling seniors and retirees for well over 15 years now is that plans are never permanent. Life changes, lifestyle changes, healthcare may change, interest rates may change, inflation may change, or as we're discussing right now, laws change. The key to a successful retirement is not pretending that you can meet with a firm once, buy a product, and you're good to go. It's acknowledging that a plan is a living and breathing document that you should be monitoring on a semi-annual or annual basis, because as your world changes, as the law changes, doesn't it make good common sense to update the plan and make changes to the plan? So with this passage of the big beautiful bill, I'm not talking politics. Love them, hate them, it doesn't matter. I'm just here to talk facts and data. But it opens up an opportunity for us to revisit Roth conversions. And maybe we can be a little bit more aggressive. Maybe we can get some benefits from these tax deductions or from these tax credits. It opens up the opportunity to provide more cash flow on a monthly basis with our Social Security, because less of that is now being taxed. It opens up opportunities to look at our portfolios and our brokerage accounts and see if we've got positions that had really large differences between the cost basis, what's known as what you paid for it, and what it's worth today. Do we have the opportunity to sell some of those positions, realize those gains, and do so in a tax-preferred manner in a way that hasn't existed before, or maybe hasn't existed in a long time? The moral of the story is very simple. When laws change, it's time to come back in, sit down with a professional, and review your situation. Because what we do know, what started this conversation, is any permanent laws are only permanent as long as they're on the books. And if we have an administration, love them or hate them, I'm not talking politics, but if we have an administration that is a little more tax-friendly, then it's fair to assume if a different administration who maybe view things differently shows up or comes in down the road, they may want to change what's been put in place. So although you're hearing rumblings of these tax law changes being permanent, they're permanently temporary, if I can say it in such a simple manner. So let's sit down, let's review our plans. Guys, what we want to do is be proactive. We don't want to wait until someone shows up on our door and says, hey, by the way, we missed an opportunity for some really cool Roth conversions, or we missed an opportunity to step up our costs based on our brokerage accounts, or we missed an opportunity to put more money in our pocket via discounted taxes and more spending money that we can go out and enjoy in our retirement years. We don't want to wait to hear of that down the road and know we missed it. The opportunity is now. Some of these different provisions in the big beautiful bill phase out through 2028. So we have opportunities here in 2025 we may not have in 2029. And I think good planning is proactive and we take advantage of what's available to us. And right now there's some fun tools that have recently been passed into law that we can use to our advantage to add more clarity, confidence, tax efficiency, and maybe even some more income into our plan. All of these things sound like great wins to me. So let's sit down, come in, let's go through these conversations, and let's see how this bill impacts you, not theoretically, but in the real world.